Good morning, good morning. If everyone could please take their seats, we're going to get started. Thank you, thank you. Good morning, my name is Robert Hartman. I'm the chair of the University of Arizona Racetrack Industry Program. Thank you. It's my first time in 5 years anyone's applauded after that line. But I want to applaud here in a second because I have some exciting news. But I first want to welcome you to Tucson. Welcome to the 2025 Global Symposium on Racing. And you're also in Wildcat Country, where our men's basketball team has just been ranked #1 in the country. That definitely deserves applause. So we had Coach Tommy Lloyd here last year to give some remarks, and the team I think was 4-4 at the time, and he's like, I'm not used to losing. So they're in a little bit of a different situation this year. But it's my privilege to bring so many folks together from so many different regulators, horsemen, and horsewomen, innovators, racing fans, and our students. We all share a commitment to this sport that we love. For more than 5 decades, this racing symposium has served as a meeting place for honest conversation, new ideas, and meaningful collaborations. We had a very humble beginning. We started at the Gallagher Theater in the Student Union in the center of campus. The Gallagher Theater holds about 100 people or so, and it wasn't a full room that first year. I'm sure Lonnie Powell here could talk about that. But your presence here continues our tradition, and we help shape the future of racing on a global scale. We have folks here from Portugal, Sweden, Australia, England, France. Some of them had an easier time getting to Tucson than people from Atlanta. So I don't know. Sorry about some of the plane issues that some of you faced. But seriously, our industry is at a crossroads. We face both unprecedented challenges and extraordinary opportunities, and it demands thoughtful leadership and our collective action. During our time together, you'll hear from experts from every corner of the sport, whether it's business, technology, safety, regulation, wagering, marketing, and more. These sessions are not only designed to inform, but to also challenge our thinking. We want to spark new opportunities and highlight the opportunities that lie ahead. Whether you're joining us as a first-time starter or a returning attendee, we hope you find inspiration and engage in productive dialogue. And I can't stress that enough. Please ask questions. We hear after the symposium's over, some of the best interactions were from the Q&A from the audience. So I really encourage you to go up and speak with our panelists from the mic. We also extend our deepest gratitude to our sponsors. We could not do this event without our sponsors. Their partnership from our platinum sponsors, Roberts Communications and Amtote. For decades, they've supported us and supported our students. Our diamond sponsors, Global Tote, NYRA, the Daily Racing Forum, and this year we brought a new diamond sponsor on, Lip Chip, who's just right outside these doors here. So a thanks to Brad Bolin and his team for joining us this year. Our sponsors are committed to education, collaboration, and the long-term health of the racing industry, and it empowers the racetrack industry program to continue this forum where we can have open and honest conversations. Please don't hesitate, as I mentioned earlier, to express your viewpoints. It's critical, and we look forward to a good 2 days together here. I would now like to introduce the University of Arizona Provost and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Patricia Prelock. Provost Prelock, and there's a long list here, she oversees all colleges and academic programs, faculty affairs, student affairs, online initiatives, assessment, enrollment management, and student support services, all working tirelessly for the University of Arizona. She's essentially the second in charge tremendous amount of responsibility, and I'm so happy that Provost Prelock made time for us today. Dr. Prelock's also a highly accomplished leader, scientist, scholar, and clinical speech-language pathologist. She is an internationally recognized expert in nature and treatment of autism in children. She's authored over 220 publications and 600 peer-reviewed and invited presentations, keynotes in the area of autism and neurodevelopmental disabilities. I am so thankful she's here. She's a wonderful supporter of the Racetrack Industry Program. Please help me welcome Dr. Patricia Prelock.
Thank you so much, Robert, and it's great to be here. And he took my line that we are ranked #1 by AP in basketball. I am a big fan, but also football, we're not doing too bad. We're at the Holiday Bowl in San Diego on January 2nd, so very exciting. Thank you, Robert, and good morning to all of you. And I want to welcome you to Tucson, the country. And then when Robert told me several were coming from all across the world, it's amazing that you're here, and thank you for your expertise in connecting with us. I also want to thank the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program. And Robert and I first met, I'm only 6 months on the job, and he was being promoted, and we started having a conversation at our promotion celebration for all of our amazing faculty, and he said, "Patty, do you know anything about our Racetrack Industry Program?" And I said, "Tell me more." And he said, "Well, I think you should come to the symposium." I said, "If I can work it out, I will be here." And I told him, "Invite me again so I can stay longer." I think, at the heart of the future are educational programs that prepare the next generation of leaders. Programs like our own Racetrack Industry Program. This program is truly a model for academia and industry, how they work hand in hand to really develop skilled, confident, and passionate professionals who are ready to lead from day one. And this is something I've been very proud of, being a newbie at the University of Arizona and recognizing that our students are job ready when they graduate. So our students don't just simply study horse racing, they actually experience it. Thank you to many of the individuals in the audience. And we have over 60 alumni from our Racetrack Industry Program with us here today. Students have worked in racing offices, analyzed data, supported track operations, shadowed regulators, engaged in customer service, wagering operations, and participated in hands-on learning that taught them how the racing industry truly functions at every level. It can't get better than that. We couldn't be more proud of the leaders that our students have become and our alumni have demonstrated, and how we at the University of Arizona played a part in their success and in your success. And I had the opportunity to meet several alumni just this morning. Our students learn the business, the science, the operations, and perhaps most importantly, the responsibility we care for our equine athletes. And internship programs, something that is a focus for me, are one of the great hallmarks of the race industry, the Racetrack Industry Program. And thanks to your extraordinary support, our students are placed in internships that give them the tools that they need to contribute to the industry as soon as they graduate. These experiences often turn into full-time roles, launching careers that take our graduates across the country and around the world. We are proud to say that when these new professionals arrive at your racetrack or organization, they are day one ready, prepared, capable, and trusted. But what truly sets the Racetrack Industry Program apart is its culture of mentorship. And I don't think I've seen that level of intense mentorship in any of the other programs that I've learned about since coming to the U of A. This community, many of you here in this room, have helped guide our students. You've challenged them and you've inspired them. Your open doors, you make that happen. You share your knowledge, you champion their success, and our program is stronger because of your partnership, and our students carry your lessons with them throughout their careers. Like many industries, horse racing is an industry built on relationships, and the racetrack industry program network endures for decades. I apologize, I'm battling a cold, so if you're hearing this grogginess, I haven't coughed yet, so that's a good thing. You look out for one another in ways that ensure success today and in the future. As with all things in life, we know the current and future achievement depends on the strength and well-being of those who create it. That is why I want to take a moment to recognize the transformative work of Frank Taylor and the Stable Recovery Program. This initiative stands as a powerful reminder of the compassion and resilience that defines the racing community. Through meaningful work with horses, Stable Recovery provides hope, purpose, and second chances to individuals that are navigating recovery. I'm sure their impact extends far beyond barn walls. It touches families, communities, and our very souls. And today, our keynote speaker, Frank Taylor, is someone who brings these values to life in an extraordinary way. Frank is widely recognized as a leader within the thoroughbred industry, guiding TaylorMade Farm into one of the most respected and influential operations in the world. However, what makes Frank truly remarkable is not just his leadership in business, it is his leadership in humanity. He has been a driving force in supporting recovery initiatives, empowering individuals to rebuild their lives, and creating pathways for healing, growth, and dignity. His belief in what people can become, not just who they have been, is a powerful example for all of us. His work reminds us that the racing industry is at its best, not only when it raises champions on the track, but when we help create champions in life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Frank Taylor.
Wow, it's really great to be here, such an honor to be here. You know, I think God has a real sense of humor because I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, where the UK Wildcats are, and I started out the year with my prayer that the Wildcats would be the #1 team in the country. And didn't pan out quite like I'd hoped. We got beat by 40 points the other night, so we got a little work to do. But, you know, it's just a great honor to be here, and it really gives me hope for this industry and how things are going. When you see a group of leaders get together that are innovative, that are trying to make this game better, and it's just amazing. Last time I came out here was actually with my son Joe. He graduated from the program, and he's part of our business and doing great. And my nephew Marshall graduated from here, and he's doing well. They're both partners at TaylorMade now, and so I love this program, and I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing around here and just all the stuff that you can learn. You know, I think the horse business has really failed over the centuries. Just not really taking advantage of the opportunities that are out there to make this even a better and greater sport. I really see some changes in the industry now that give me hope that things are really moving in the right direction. Obviously, we've got a lot of things we need to work on, but this this business, I think, is very, very strong. There's a lot of great things happening. I know there's racing suffering in spots around the country, but in Kentucky, it's just amazing what's going on. I never ever dreamed that the purse structure and the races and basically that Kentucky would be kind of the center of horse racing, which I believe it's become. But just very excited for the future, and I think just what's going on here today is proof that we're headed in the right direction. So you know, I believe that the horse is God's most healing animal. And I believe that the horse can really heal people. And I've seen it firsthand. And I believe that we really need to maximize the exposure of the horse to people in need that are suffering mentally, physically, or spiritually. The horse is just an amazing creature. And I've been with them all my life, so I've started when I was a little kid. So I've kind of just had them all my life, so I didn't maybe respect it as much as I could because I was always exposed to it. But when we started Stable Recovery and I saw broken people coming in and what the horse was doing for them, it just gave me a newfound respect for what they do. So today I want to share today several of the story of TaylorMade and how we grew up as a family, and then I want to talk to you about Stable Recovery and how it was founded and how it's helping people, and then I want to finish by talking about what we can do to make horses more exposed and healing for people. So I'll start out with my kind of a little bit brief life story for me. I was born into the horse business. My grandfather raised standardbreds and raced them, and he had a dirt farm and raised tobacco and cattle and a lot of different things. And so we were exposed to him. Used to as kids, I had like 50, 60 cousins, and he believed in free labor. So he never paid anybody to take care of those horses. And when we were kids, we would always go to Harrodsburg, Pennsylvania, and sell those horses. So that was kind of the beginning of exposure to selling horses, raising horses, and doing things like that. And so my father, he was an amazing guy. He really has a great legacy, and he helped many, many people in this industry. And that was kind of his way he lived his life. Is he was all in about raising a good horse and making money and doing this, but he really, what his mission was to help other people. And my brothers and I, that's sisters, we've tried to emulate him and to try to help as many people as we possibly can. And I think that's all our purpose, is to just try to help as many people as you can. Wake up every morning and try to see people that are hurting or suffering or need help and just go help them. That's the essence that drives me. I tell everybody, I said, I've got a family tree that's probably one of the most productive family trees in history because there's a nut on every branch. And I say that lovingly, and we have a great family. I've got 7 siblings. We've all got a bunch of kids, so there's like 20-some grandkids, and my mom and dad had big families, and gosh, like I say, I can't even keep track of it. There's somewhere between 50 and 100 cousins. They're just everywhere. But just raised in that environment, it was great. And so my daily growing up, like I knew what I was going to do when I was 5 years old. My goal was to get a horse farm, have a big horse farm, manage it, and get successful in the horse business. So I knew that early on. And you may not believe this, but actually I'm the youngest horse breeder in history, or at least what the story tells. So the story goes that I used to follow my dad around all the farm. He ran Gainesway Farm, and he would take he's a terrible workaholic, but he took his kids everywhere he went because he believed in free labor as well. And so as a toddler, I was following around. I watched my dad. I was going to the yearling barn. I was going to the mare barn, foaling barn. I was going to the shop, I was seeing everything, and then I went to the breeding shed, and I got to see what went on at the breeding shed. So the story goes, I had a little playroom that was just off of the kitchen, and I was out there. I had my play farm set up, and I was out there. I had my barn set up, my plastic fence, and I had all my cows and tractors and all my stock out there. And my mom was having coffee with several ladies that were friends of her just off there, and they were watching me, and they were really impressed and thought I was cute. And then all of a sudden, I took my plastic stallion and I mounted my plastic mare, and there was a lot of action going on there. So I didn't know. I think today they'd have called child services, but I don't think they had it then. So when I was growing up, like I said, my dad, he really worked us kids. He was a workaholic, and he taught us to be workaholics, and I think that's been the driving success behind TaylorMade. The one thing we do is we work hard and we stick together. And my dad really drilled that into us from day one, that we all need to stick together and we can do better together. So anyway, the start of TaylorMade was when I was 13 years old. My oldest brother, Duncan, was 19, and he started TaylorMade Farm. And at that time, it was an amazing time. My father was running Gainesway Farm for John Gaines, who started the Breeders' Cup and the Kentucky Horse Park and Stallion Syndication. He was an amazing man, and my dad and him were a great team. And so we were growing up in an era where there really wasn't a lot of customer service, and my dad and Mr. Gaines were working, really giving good customer service, and they figured out that, you know, at the time people thought they could only breed 40 mares to a stallion, and that's all they did. And my dad and Mr. Gaines were entrepreneurs and innovators, and they pretty soon figured out if a stallion could breed 80 mares, he'd be worth twice as much. And then I extrapolated out to 120 and, 160, and now today you see sometimes 250 being bred to the stallion. But they changed the industry. They innovated. They were the first people to ever put mares under the lighting cycle to get them cycling early. First guys to ever palpate mares. First ultrasounds. All these innovations. So me and my brothers were growing up in that environment. And the first simple thing my dad did is, when they were trying to increase the mares stallions were breeding, is they used to breed 5 days a week, two times a day, and then one time on Saturday. And of course, my dad, being a workaholic, he started breeding 7 days a week, 3 times a day. And so the numbers just went up. It was very lucrative and a really interesting part of the history of thoroughbred business to grow up. So when I was 13, my oldest brother was 19. I had 2 other brothers in the business, so there's 4 brothers in TaylorMade currently, and we have 7 nieces and nephews that are working in the business and own it with us now. But as we were starting, it was pretty miraculous. We were 1,000 to 1 to hit the success we had, but we had work ethic and good horsemanship. We had no money, and we just started digging and scratching and trying to make a living. And we were doing tobacco, cattle, all kinds of things just to make money. And then we started boarding our first horse, and we only deal with thoroughbreds, but we were boarding our first couple mares. And when I was 17, I met a guy named Aaron Jones at the Keynote sale, and he was like the who's who of the horse industry as a breeder and a guy that raced horses. And I was 17. I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, me and my brothers just started this farm." I said, nobody knew who TaylorMade was. I said, I'd like to board some horses for you. So he was real nice to me, but nothing happened. And then like a year later, me and my brothers were all in the tobacco patch working, which is a terrible thing to make a living doing. And we were out there. My sister came out and said, "Aaron Jones called you." And so I threw the hoe down. I took off running in there, and I called him, and he said He said, last year you said that you wanted to board some horses. You want to board some? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, you got plenty of room? And I said, yeah, I got tons of room. I really didn't have any room. We had one barn up there. It had some cows in it and tobacco. And so he goes, well, good. I want you to pick up 40 head in the morning. And I was like, whoa. So we didn't even have an employee at the time. So anyway, I called all my cousins, my brothers, and we went. There was a farm next door that just had 40 stalls on it. So I went and rented that farm, and we moved all those horses over there. And that was been a great relationship that put TaylorMade on the map. And Mr. Jones has passed. Mrs. Jones, I'm still working for her. And we've just had some really amazing success, and that's kind of the thing that started to get TaylorMade moving in the right direction. And we've really grown. We've been blessed. We got great team members, and we sell more horses than anybody in the world now, thoroughbred horses. I think last year we sold 2,000 horses on digital sales or live auction. And we've had a lot of success boarding and breeding. And then we had started our stallion operation, I guess it was 25 years, 30 years ago. And we've had some great success there. We came up with Unbridled Song, and we came up with St. Bellotto and Speightstown, Tis Now. We had a lot of good horses that we've been involved with. But we're very blessed now. We have a horse called Not This Time that is really on fire. He's stud fee's gone from $15,000 per breeding to $250,000, and he's booked full. So been very blessed. And TaylorMade's just been a great ride, and it's been just beyond imagination, the success that we've had. Just been very blessed. So I'd like to now. There's a video that I want to show you that kind of tells the story of a young man called Josh Franks, who is an amazing guy. He came to stable recovery. He had been incarcerated for 10 years. He was homeless for a couple years. He was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and he came there, got with the horses, got healed by the horses, and then has moved on, and now he's one of the most valuable managers we have at TaylorMade. He manages a couple hundred horses and 20 employees. So he's just an example of what's going on at stable recovery. So if you want to show the video.
So this is a brand new baby?
Yep, so we got a bay filly. I got to foal this baby this morning. It's special.
So let's take it back to the beginning. Tell me a little bit about what it was like for you growing up and what the beginning of your journey was that led you here.
So I grew up in a broken home. I followed my brother's path. At age 10 and 11, I'm kind of living like an adult. I'm already doing drugs and alcohol. It's very heavy, and I ended up going to prison for 10 years when I was 25. And I'd been in and out once I got out of prison. I'd got incarcerated, get out, get incarcerated, get out. Pretty much I was out of options. I'd lived homeless for about 2 years there, to where I was really homeless. I'd wake up with like covers over top of me, people laying pizza by my head and kicking water bottles to get something to drink. Like, I was really homeless. But I didn't want to commit crime no more, and I was just tired of living the way I was living. And from there, I come to stable recovery.
How do you describe what it's like foaling a baby? Does it ever get old?
It's really nice to bring life into the world. Maybe a Kentucky Derby winner.
Josh Franks. He had just gotten out of prison, 10 years for methamphetamines, had never touched a horse, was about as broken as you could get. He actually lost his mother within the first couple of weeks that he was here at Stable Recovery. Within hours of him getting into a barn and touching a horse, this guy that was angry and didn't trust anybody had a smile on his face, and he was laughing, and he was becoming human again. And that's something that you know, these horses, they put people back together. They just put people back together.
You had never been around a horse before.
Mm-mm.
But you just kind of fell in love with it.
I felt like I was behind the 8 ball. I come from Stable Recovery, so like I had that, and I was an addict, so I felt like I carried that everywhere with me. But when I walked into the barn, I wanted you to know my name when I left. I was going to work harder than anyone in there because I wanted to make it. I was tired of living the way I was living. You know, the only thing I could tell you about my mom is that she loved horses. That's the only personal thing I could tell you, and she passed away when I was here. You know, like all my life, I just wanted to prove to her that I was something. And this is how God works in my life. I'm at a meeting with Alcoholics Anonymous. She had no idea where I was in the world. And the person beside me shared on a resentment towards her mother. And I got a text message saying, "You need to get to your mom." It was like God put me where he needed to when that time come.
Does it give you peace?
Ton.
Knowing? How so?
Today I feel like something. Today I feel like a little bit of accomplishment. I get to work. I wake up every day. I live here on the farm. And I get to go out here and do what I love to do. And Frank Taylor never asked me, "Where'd you come from? What'd you do? What's your background like?" He asked me, "How can I help you?" And for a guy like me, that's everything in the world.
What do you think your mom would say?
I love you, Josh. I'm proud of you.
You know, Josh is just one of many stories of people that have not just gotten sober but successful, and that's really what it's about. It's putting people in a position to get sober and then be successful. So the way we do that at Stable Recovery is when people come in, it's a very loving family, and everybody in the program knows that the most important person in a room is a person that just showed up. And so they have a new family. They may have not had any family, or they might have had a bad family, or they may have broken all the relationships, but the minute they get there, they have a family, and that's very important. The other thing we do is it doesn't cost a penny to get into Stable Recovery. Everything we've done has been done by private donations and grants. And so there's no barrier for somebody to get in Stable Recovery financially, which is a big problem for a lot of people in addiction trying to get recovery. So they come there, they get into a family, they immediately go to work at TaylorMade in our School of Horsemanship. They're trained for 90 days on the basics of horsemanship. And during that time, they're working about 4 days a week, and then they're spending 3 days a week on their therapy, and they're going to get therapy and working on their sobriety and going to AA meetings. But it's a very rigorous program, and it really takes somebody that is really ready to change. Unfortunately, if people aren't ready to change, you can't help them. They've got to hit rock bottom, and they have to have the gift of desperation for you to help them. But when they have that, and you put them in a family, and you surround them with loving people, and you give them purpose and give them a job, and and expose them to the horse. That's the secret sauce, is this horse is just amazing what these horses can do. And you put them with that, and then the next thing, you've got somebody that's basic 90 days, you've got them sober 90 days, they've got some basic horsemanship, but we want to keep them in the program at least a year. And if somebody needs to be there 2 or 3 years, well, that's fine too. We just want long-term sobriety. And the success we've had has been amazing. The numbers that we're producing with sobriety and the rates we're doing it are unheard of. We've had 125 men and women graduate from the program. Every one of them, 100% of them have gotten a job. At a year, 80% of them, or 85% of them are still sober and employed and working. And the ones that have made it 2 years are 80% sober. So the success rate in recovery is it's in below 20%. So what we're doing works. It's the structure, it's the discipline, it's the family, it's the horse, it's the job. So it's kind of the way stable recovery started was it was an idea that I had 6 or 7 years ago, and it was really caused by at first I was looking for help. I could not find enough help, could not find a sober good help, and it was a struggle. And I was running the farm, and I went to a place called Deviate Kitchen, and they only work people that are in recovery, and they provide them jobs in the restaurant industry. And I was just amazed with the service and the food. And I talked to Rob and Diane Perez, who run it, and I said, do you think this will work in the horse business? And they said, I think it'll work even better because you've got hard work, you've got nature, and you've got the horse that's so healing. So we started Stable Recovery as a meager operation. We were getting our people from the Shepherd's House, which is a recovery place in Lexington, and we were bringing them to TaylorMade, and we were training them, and that went good for a couple years. But then Christian Counselor had left there, and Christian was like a key person down there, and he'd gone into private business, was miserable. And I called Christian, and I said, look, we need to start our own recovery house, and we can control everything 24/7. So I paid his salary for a couple years myself and said, come on, let's see if we can make something happen. And he came, and we co-founded Stable Recovery. And it's been, it's very well known now. There's just been one miracle after another. For instance, one of them is this year, at the beginning of the year, I had a call from a guy named Jarrett Prussian. And Jarrett's a good horseman and been in it. His family's been in it a long time. And he had read a story about one of the successes of one of our guys. And he said, man, I'm just blown away. I want to support you. And I'm going to provide my media group, Sachs Media, to help get everybody to know what Stable Recovery is about and know about Stable Recovery. And the results have been unbelievable. We had a CBS Evening News feature on Stable Recovery that was seen by 76 million people. We've had over 150 articles written this year about Stable Recovery. The presence on social media has been unbelievable. So it's really just taken off. It's had a lot of growth, but I see it growing a lot more. We just can't outgrow the ability to develop staff and to fundraise. But anyway, it's been a real blessing. It's been a great experience. And I'll finish up by saying this statement: is the horse is the most healing animal on the planet. We have an issue in our industry of finding places for retired horses. And it's much better if you can find a place for a horse where the horse has a purpose, where he's not just in a field being fed and not being used. And I believe that if we really maximize the benefit of the horse and expose it to as many people as possible, that we can save a lot of lives, help improve a lot of mental illness, and find homes for a lot of horses. So thank you very much for letting me speak to you today.